as we shift from what we talked about last week and I shift into this week and deal with this particular topic of exposure, there was an individual that was part of the group of the X-Men known as Nightcrawler. Now, many of you who are not comic book fanatics, you have no idea who I'm talking about, so let me explain. Nightcrawler was this individual who had the ability to transport himself from one place to the next. Immediately, he could be in Praise Temple, Texarkana, and with the blink of an eye, he can be in New Life Full Gospel House of Worship. Nightcrawler could be in one place today, and a minute later, he could be somewhere else. However, there was a catch to his gift. The catch to his gift was he could not transport himself to anywhere he had not seen. If he sees it, whether it be the actual image or whether it be just a photograph of the place, he can get there. If he hasn't seen it, he couldn't go. But if he's seen it, you can't keep him from it. And I want to talk to somebody in here on this morning that you've seen some things with your physical and your spiritual eye, and you've already made up in your mind, there ain't a devil in hell or a Negro from hell that's going to keep me from what I see. Or I want you to give two people a high five and say, hate all you want, you can't keep me from it. I wish I had a real church off up in here. Mine eyes have seen the glory and the coming of what God has promised me. David was in the process when we find him here in 1 Samuel 17. God, you talking today. David was in the process because he had been ordained to be the king. He had been ordained to be the king in 1 Samuel 16. But when he had his ordination was not when he had his coronation. Lacey, you got the wrong church up in here. I'm going to say it one more time. The day that he had his ordination and the oil fell on him was not the day he had his coronation and the crown fell on him. There was a space of time that elapsed between the ordination and the coronation. See, one of the things that's wrong with us is we get ordained to preach today. We want to pastor by Wednesday. But look at somebody and say, you got to give God time. And if you give God time between your ordination and your coronation, you will be better than every king that came before you. See, Saul's process was, I get ordained today, I'm going to run this show today, and can't nobody tell me nothing after today. But God took David through a process that says, I'm going to anoint you to be king, but you're not going to sit on the throne when I anoint you. You're going to sit under another king and learn. So when you become king, you won't make the same mistakes as the person you learned from. Oh God, I got the quiet church in here on the day. Look at your neighbor and say, baby, slow down, slow down. You ain't gonna run the business yet. Now you're gonna run it, but what God is going to do is he's gonna let you sit under somebody that's running it but not running it as good as you can. Now he's not going to tell them they can't do it like you. He's only going to tell you they can't do it like you. And you can't be arrogant to let them know they can't do it like you. You got to sit there knowing you can do it better, but let them do their thing. And just say, Lord, when my time comes, I'm biting my lip, I'm holding my breath, but I promise you when I hear that shotgun go pow, I'm going to run out this thing and I'm going to be the baddest somebody that ever got down right here. Give your neighbor a high five and say, it may not be my time, but when my time comes. Contrary, I'm hurrying here, to popular belief, Goliath, if we stay true to the text, is not associated with the personal battle. Goliath, although we from the pulpit have made it into a personal giant, and when we preach 1 Samuel 17, we tell everybody to go home and take your giants down. Contrary to that, I want to tell you, Goliath is not a personal giant. We stay true to the text. Goliath is a corporate giant that David decided to take personal. I got the wrong church up here. This had nothing to do with David. But because Goliath came up against something David believed in, David made it personal. I ain't got no help up in here. See, when somebody comes up against something that you love, I ain't got no help. They can't keep your mouth closed. See, I know the folk that love what they really love, because you can't keep them from it, and you better not say nothing about it. I ain't got no help around here. Now, you can say what you want to say about everybody else's church. Bring mine out your mouth. I want to see if I can get some witnesses up in here. Give your neighbor a high five and say, when you talk about what I believe in, you're talking about me. Say whatever you want to say about Lacey, just don't put sister in front of it. Y'all ain't talking. Don't mess with what I believe in. Don't mess what means something to me. I ain't got no help. I need the men to just holler. Mess with my wife if you want to. I ain't got no men in here that love that woman. I'm trying to get you some cool points, fool. You need to say. I'm trying to get you off the couch. Say, don't mess with my woman. Man, forget y'all. Where the sisters at that will holler, I wish I would mess with my man. And if you're single, just holler, I wish they would mess with the one that I'm going to get. Baby, I'm practicing. Talk about my play husband if you want to. Talk about my fake wife if you want to. Bears rarely run in packs. They often roll solo. They are individual animals. So when David brings up his history of conquering bears, he is saying to them, I'm qualified to handle a corporate giant because I've taken down my personal animals. I've won the victories that are going on in my own life. And so I can look you in your eye and tell you how you can get out. I ain't got no help up in here. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you sitting by somebody with a personal track record. A person that if I rewind the tape of my life, baby, I got so much personal stuff that I've overcome. And I ain't talking about this little old itty bitty demons that folk are tripping off of by folk talking about them and friends leaving them. Look at your neighbor and say, that ain't no struggle. Baby, I done overcame homosexuality. You ain't want nobody to know. I'm sorry. I done overcame struggles in my self-esteem when I used to be scared to look at myself in a mirror, and now God has brought me out of that. Somebody shout, I've won my own battles. I fought battles with myself. You looking at somebody who dropped out of high school and still went back and got their GED. I ain't got no witnesses up in here. Somebody shout, I won my battles. Now let me help you win yours.